Gabriel Van Helsing is not delighted with his duty, which is to find and kill Count Vladislaus Dracula, as directed by the Vatican. He is fed up with taking out monsters for the church only to have the public label him as a killer with a bounty on his head. In addition, he longs to regain his memories, which his past transgressions have stolen from him. According to Cardinal Genet, the reason this task is significant is that 450 years ago, a Transylvanian warrior by the name of Valerius the Elder made a vow to God that his family would not rest until they had defeated Dracula. Only Princess Anna and Prince Velkan, two of Valerius' descendants, survived, but Dracula is still alive. The church is dedicated to preserving the souls of the Valerius family, but time is of the essence. So Van Helsing sets off for Transylvania, armed only with a piece of paper, garlic rings, holy water, a silver stake, a crucifix, an automatic crossbow, and Friar Carl, the Vatican's Q. Transylvanians dislike strangers, therefore Van Helsing's visit is not well received. Van Helsing sees three harpies soaring at them while Princess Anna questions their conduct there. Elara, Marischka, and Verona are the three women that became wives to Dracula. It's clear that their goal is to capture Anna. In fact, they succeed in carrying her off several times, but Van Helsing manages to get her back. He finally destroys Marischka by dipping his crossbow in holy water before shooting her with a dart. Oddly, the villagers are angry with Van Helsing for killing Marischka. They explain that the vampires only kill 1 or 2 a month to satisfy their needs. Now, thanks to him, they will kill more out of revenge. Dracula is likewise not pleased about it. In addition to having just one wife, Dracula's progeny are animated from birth and require the monster to keep them alive. A year ago, the villagers destroyed Frankenstein's monster, which was created by Victor Frankenstein and set ablaze. Then, a few days prior, Velkan Valerius killed Dracula's werewolf with a silver bullet, but not before the werewolf snagged Velkan right before he plunged from a precipice. Anna returns Van Helsing and Carl to the castle where the Valerius family has resided for hundreds of years after Dracula's human death, grateful that Van Helsing spared her life and destroyed Marischka. When Anna decides to go vampire hunting that evening, Van Helsing hits her with knockout spray because he would rather wait until daylight. Later, when Anna wakes up, Van Helsing is nowhere to be seen and the hallways remain black. There is still a person present. It's not just any werewolf, though. Velkan is her brother. Velkan appears to have been bitten by the werewolf while descending, lived to tell the tale, and is now also a werewolf. Just in time to warn Anna, Velkan transforms from werewolf to human again as the moon abruptly disappears behind a cloud. He transforms back into a werewolf and lunges at her as the moon emerges. Velkan is shot by Van Helsing, but he escapes via the window. Then comes Van Helsing. Anna stops Van Helsing just before he is about to shoot Velkan, telling him that Dracula is rumored to have a cure for werewolfism. Van Helsing consents to assist Anna in her search for the remedy and in trying to save her brother. Velkan's trail takes them to Castle Frankenstein, where Velkan is bound to Dracula's machine and attempts are being made to use his life force to bring Dracula's offspring to life by Dracula, Igor, and the Dwergi, hideous little monsters who work for Dracula. When lightning strikes, the baby vampires begin to hatch and absorb Velkan's life force. Numerous thousands of them. Van Helsing fires at the group. When Dracula becomes enraged, he attacks Van Helsing. Attempting to stab Dracula with the silver stake, Van Helsing is unsuccessful. The stake must be constructed of wood. In order for the brides to teach the infants how to feed themselves, Elara, Verona, and the newborns take a plane to the village. All of the vampire infants start to erupt all of a sudden. It's not been a successful animation. Dracula gives Velkan the order to murder Anna and Van Helsing. Anna and Van Helsing stumble into a subterranean tunnel where the Frankenstein monster has been hiding during their escape from Castle Frankenstein. Despite feeling that the monster is not bad, Van Helsing shoots him with a tranquilizer dart but chooses not to kill him. Van Helsing will only murder wicked beings. The monster tells Dracula before he falls out that he is the key to his research and the one thing he needs to give his brood life. Thousands more hatchlings are still ready to be born, according to Dracula, even after the last one died. They realize all of a sudden that Velkan is watching them. Van Helsing attempts to bring the Frankenstein monster back to Rome for safety, but they are ambushed by Verona, Elara, and Vulcan. Van Helsing knows that Dracula will soon find out where they are. After destroying Verona and shooting Vulcan in the chest, Van Helsing causes Vulcan to pass away in Anna's arms. Regretfully, Vulcan also succeeded in biting Van Helsing. Van Helsing, Carl, and the monster are made to walk while Elara picks up Anna and flies her back to Dracula. In Budapest, they reunite with Elara once more. She extends an invitation to a masquerade party on Halloween, where they can exchange the monster for Anna. Van Helsing tranquilizes the monster and locks him in a church while he and Carl go to the ball. Dracula tries to get Anna to marry him during their dance at the ball, but Anna isn't having any of it. Anna is saved by Van Helsing, however, their getaway is foiled when Igor gleefully brings in the Frankenstein monster. Van Helsing, Carl, and Anna are chased by all the vampires at the ball, who make them leap out of a window. When Carl, Anna, and Van Helsing return to Transylvania, Dracula has left Castle Frankenstein and relocated to who knows where, exactly. They head to the library, where Carl has done some reading and found that, in reality, Dracula is Valerius the Elder's son. The entire issue arose in 1462 with the murder of Dracula by the left hand of God. Dracula formed a bargain with the devil after he passed away, and the devil granted him a new life that could only be maintained by consuming blood. At that point, Valerius the Elder traveled to Rome and agreed to trade away his family's right to heaven in exchange for killing Dracula. Because Dracula was his son, Valerius was unable to murder him and instead banished him through a door into an icy stronghold from which he could never return, that is, until the devil granted Dracula wings. Now, where's this door? Anna tells how her father looked at a certain picture for hours on end. Could the key to the door be in that picture? Carl tries to read the Latin inscription on the door, but he is unable to do so since a component is missing. Van Helsing recalls receiving a small photograph from Cardinal Jeanette prior to his departure from Rome. It does, in fact, fit. Upon reading the inscription aloud, the image transforms into a mirror, enabling them to pass through and into Dracula's actual castle, a snow-covered fortress. They reach a lengthy hallway lined with pods holding vampire progeny that are ready to be animated on the walls and ceiling. In addition, they witness the Frankenstein monster with just his head protruding from an ice block. When Van Helsing encounters the monster, he is informed that Dracula is able to cure werewolfism. Van Helsing questions why Dracula would possess a countermeasure. Carl recalls seeing a different painting depicting a werewolf slaying a vampire. Everything makes sense now. Dracula can only be killed by a werewolf, and Van Helsing is supposed to transform into one at midnight tonight. The idea is for Van Helsing to kill Dracula via transformation, and then Anna and Carl will give him the antidote at the last second. Igor is forced to escort Anna and Carl to the antidote as Van Helsing searches for Dracula. Igor displays to them a syringe kept inside a viscous liquid-filled container. Yes, it is the antidote, but Igor locks them in the room before they can get to it. Elara shows up out of nowhere. The jar is thrown at her by Anna. Alira's face is burned by the splash as it smashes to the ground. Anna hurls further liquid towards the door's bars, causing them to dissolve. Elara is occupied by Anna as Carl takes the antidote and searches for Van Helsing. Van Helsing has found the lab where Dracula works. Dracula is trying to take the life force out of the Frankenstein monster by raising him to the roof. Van Helsing heads toward the roof, but before he can liberate the monster, a lightning strike shoots his life force through the baby nursery and down. The infant vampires start waking up. Dracula transforms into a bat and strikes Van Helsing just as the Frankenstein monster breaks out. Lightning strikes the monster once more, sending him hurtling over the edge of the roof. While descending, he is able to seize hold of a cable and force Igor, who had been pursuing Carl with a cattle prod, off the bridge. The monster leaps through a window and into the altercation between Elara and Anna. Anna swings back to the lab with the cable while the monster keeps Elara at bay. Carl throws her the antidote on the way. Elara meets Anna halfway. Elara gloats that she will consume Anna's blood, but Anna takes a spike and pushes it through Alira's heart. At that moment, the clock reaches midnight. Before transforming into a werewolf, Van Helsing goes for Dracula. Van Helsing transforms back into himself as the moon disappears behind a cloud, right as he holds Dracula by the throat. This is Dracula's chance to tell Van Helsing that, in 1462, it was indeed him who killed Dracula. Abruptly, the moon reappears. Once more taking on the shape of a werewolf, Van Helsing bites Dracula's neck. Together with all of his newborn vampires, Dracula falls to dust. Once Dracula is destroyed, so are all of his creations. Anna enters the room with the antidote at exactly the right time. Leaping at her is Van Helsing. When Carl shows up, he opens the silver stake and prepares to stab Van Helsing. However, Anna was prosperous. Just before she passed away, she gave Van Helsing the antidote, and now he is getting back to his normal self. At sea, Van Helsing and Carl conduct Anna's cremation. Helsing witnesses Anna's spirit reunited with her family in heaven as the monster leaves on a raft. Together, Carl and Van Helsing ride off into the sunset.